So who looks like the dumbass now, preacher man? The people who got it right? I just want to say something really quick is that everybody who's anybody who's followed us, either liking or hating us, know that we've set the standard. We're the trailblazers, okay? And what everybody should know is that telling the truth does not pay. It doesn't pay to tell people actual facts. People want to be told a story, they want to be lied to, and there's sponsors out there willing to pay big bucks for all these people who said 10 and, what was it? 12 wins, another season of playoff aspirations, blah, 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 blah. Now they all are getting on they're all trying to get into the parade here that we started. And this is the only coach killers in the building. And we're really going to get into, in this episode, when we mean coach killers in the building, it ain't just the players. We're going to really take a look at this front office and why that has to be just gutted out. If it isn't, you're going to be looking at the wash, rinse, repeat again. You're going to see everything all over again. I want to do just a really short little skit to, what goes on at the Denver Broncos, so people really get a feel for where we're coming from. Broncos lose to the Jets, and here we go into this week, getting ready for Kansas City. This is behind the scenes kind of shit. Player, okay, I'm going to play the part of any number of players. Gee, coach, I'd really like to help you out with that win-loss thing, but I got right now, I got the PR department, one of the execs on the phone, and I gotta take this. It's really important. Here's the coaches. Which exec? And then the player says, I don't know what exec. There's so many of them there. You expect me to keep track of them all? All I know is that they don't tell me that. I have to play 4 quarters. They don't tell me that, I need to put in more effort. They're going to be blowing sunshine up my ass, telling everybody how great I am. And I've got an event that I've got to attend. It's really important that I'm out in the community. So you worry about those wins and losses. I'll get back to you on that. I got a date with the PR department. They make me feel a whole lot better than you do. That's basically what we got going with the Denver Broncos. What do you think about, that little stupid skit I just did?
I think it's right on the money. I mean, yeah, there's been like 3 times where I've seen a player talking on the phone to somebody in the front office. You have Nathaniel Hackett saying, "Oh, I didn't call the timeout because I didn't get the call from upstairs to call the timeout. None of the players called the timeout." So there's a huge chain of command there for the most simple operations there. The GM has 10 advisors, and it's just not a football, The more people who are telling one person what to do, the worse it's going to be executed off rip. And then when you have people who don't know what they're doing telling someone what to do, it's even worse. So
now, Bucketman, you just did a video, and I'm going to definitely link it. Can you talk about, and it's going to really be the crux of this video. Can you explain the video, why you made it, and what it's about?
Well, basically, it's the more things change, the more they stay the same. That's basically how I started off the video yesterday. Everybody wants to talk about getting rid of these players, and they don't want to talk about the whole crux of the whole, operation, which is that front office. I basically brought up the factual information about how Elway promoted these people when Adam Peters left and went to San Francisco. And a lot of those people that on that list are still in that front office. That's the type of stuff that I want to see get cleaned out. That's the stuff that I want to see move on. Are those type of people, personnel people, management people. And then when you go to denverbroncos.com, you have a bunch of marketing people. you have more marketing people than you do scouts and player personnel people there. So to sit there and say, oh my gosh, we got to get rid of the Judys of the world, the Bowleses of the world, the Simmons of the world, who drafted and picked those players, that front office?
Well, that's only part of the problem. That's only the picking them is only part of the problem. And then they take them and nurture them. Oh, we don't say anything about them. That when Sean Payton came out, and this is something you brought up. When Sean Payton came out and called out Hackett, what that really was, it was an extension of what we saw when Hackett was brought in. And the players went mutiny against Fangio, and oh no, it's the coach, it's the coach, it's the coach. So Sean Payton got on board with that whole don't blame the players, don't blame the front office, that Hackett, and they were, before they even got Sean Payton, they were saying oh, it's that Hackett, just like they did with Fangio, and said, oh my God, the players, because remember they went mutiny on Fangio. It was too rough. He was calling them out. He was holding them accountable. We can't have that, So if you keep those people in, we're going to dissect this front office. I mean, really we're going to name names. When you had posted that video and I pointed out and sent Denver Post or Gannett, there's, of course, it's the link, the article's hiding behind a paywall, because it's Gannett, and Gannett owns all these one entity owning all these newspapers. So Denver Post, I linked the links where I said Patrick Walsh is John Elway's nephew, being the pro scout, i.e. Gregory. So don't give me this. It's all George Paton with like you said, Bubbleman, 10 advisors, 10 or half a dozen, whatever it was. This guy. If it isn't enough tap on the shoulder by John Elway, no, we don't want that guy, or we do, coach or player during the draft. He's got 10 advisors. You're trying to tell me this guy actually has a mind of his own? And who are the advisors getting their advice? Who are they taking their advice from? And how many you want to bet their advisors are a bunch of analytic people?
Yeah.
So the culture is. It's a cultural thing. And when I started my own channel, the very first video I said, this is a cultural issue. They have lost the culture of Pat Bowlen. And the culture is front office can't do no wrong. It's not them. The players we picked can't not do wrong, because we're the front office. We picked them. They have to be the greatest in the world. Film says otherwise, but so what I'm seeing is the same people that said this was a playoff team, just for the simple fact Sean Payton was here, because Nathaniel Hackett was so bad. Okay. It's even worse now, by the way. I see these same entities. I see the front office trying to get ahead of the parade that we said was coming. We said this, blow it up. We said blow it up before anybody else. We did. We were right all along. We were right all along. Okay. Now they know they've got a problem, and they're trying to get ahead of it. We're not going to let them get ahead. There's only one way to do this right. Clear out the PR. I mean, bring in football people. You won't need the PR. Take it slow, take it steady, take it right. Roll up the sleeves, do the job right. You've got to get rid of. Why don't you name the names? We know Patrick Walsh? He needs to go. He's with John Elway's nephew, head of pro scouting. He needs to go. Who else besides the PR? I just want to say this. Everybody should go to the Denver Bronco website. It looks more like a branding company than it does a football organization. And when you look at that office, I mean, you could create a whole high rise and stuff it full of all those marketing people and PR people. And like I said in my skit, those players, they're more interested in their image, and it's all bullshitted by that PR, and they don't care about the wins and losses, putting effort on it. Why should they? They're told how great they are. So can you name some names? I mean, when we say blow it up, what are we saying by blow it up?
Get rid of everybody. Get everybody, not just the players, because if you keep the players are the symptom of the problem, right? A lot of them could be good in the right system. A lot of them could be in a situation that fits them or whatever. But they're at the end of the day, they're in a bad situation. They're in a bad environment to succeed in, and that's due to the front office. I mean, the NFL is a business at the end of the day. It's a corporate structure, so the leadership there is not very good. It's not good at all. It's John Elway's family members there. You have all these. I mean, how many marketing people I see? One, I see Haley Sullivan, the chief marketing officer. I mean, we don't need marketing officers. We need director of film. We need director of scouting. We need directors of, we need people who are there to watch.
People, the football people.
We don't need pro football focus there. We don't need, Smythe needs to go. I mean, there's so many that need to go. All of them need to go. Every name on there needs to go. But these are the executive staffs. You have Damiani Leach, who's the president, Tim Aragon, general counsel, Mark K. Johnson, executive vice president of human resources, Dennis Moore, chief. All these executives on this list have to go. And then the guy that they hired in, who is part of the international stuff from the NFL, needs to go. But he's probably there to stay, because this team is probably not here to stay as well.
Yeah, it says a lot. That hire does say a lot. Now, Bucketman, you got a list of names, because you really went through it, and you got a list of names of former. I mean, that was carryovers from the. I think we all agree, any carryover from the Ellis Elway days, that has to be rooted out, along with a plethora of marketing people. What are some names that you can name that?
Well, I don't have the list with me because I got summoned to my car. But
okay, we got Brian Stark, for instance. You was one of the
Daryl Moogie's one of them. Brian Stark is one of them. I don't know if Bubbleman.
Obviously, John Elway's nephew needs to go too.
He needs.
John Elway shown the door. It's it's great. You can come in with your gold jacket and do a presentation at the stadium. That's great. We love everything you did as a quarterback, but your family members, your hires are not allowed to be employed anymore. Just period.
They need to go from 6 owners to 1.
Yeah, well, I was listening to Sandy Clough and all his insider stuff, saying that Penner blew the interview with Sean Payton, and they had to turn to Condoleezza Rice to sweeten the deal to bring him in. And who was the first person? Who were the first people to say Sean Payton came here for a paycheck? You, man, were pounding the table about that.
Yep. Because he did. If he had the Cardinals to go to, he had the Texans to go to. I mean, if he really cared about winning football, he would have went to any number of teams, or even waited for
with the Saints.
Yeah. So
he would have done better there than here.
Yep. Or he would have waited for the Charger job to open up the next year, but he chose the Broncos to get that paycheck. And even when you look at his demeanor, he doesn't give a fuck to be there. He doesn't really care. Is that the same Sean Payton you saw in New Orleans? No.
Well, I want to go back to what Sean Payton said with Hackett. Was that simply him, or was that statement a reflection of how the front office felt prior to even hiring Sean Payton?
That's how the front office felt. They wanted someone to blame, and then they wanted to double down on it. And now they look really fucking stupid, because that offense that the Jets were running looked nothing like the offense the Broncos were running under Nathaniel Hackett. So they actually ran the ball throughout the entirety of that game. They didn't start playing Shermer ball. You had the refs, of course, being the refs, but again, you still lost. So
I honestly feel that the ownership doesn't really realize just how bad this organization is. I want you to take a look at something and just tell me if you can see this. Do you see that?
That's the best corner in the game right there,
What are you seeing here? What are we seeing?
I'm seeing some extreme pass interference. I'm seeing him bear hugging the receiver. I think he got thrown to the ground and then he intercepted it and then they didn't call the penalty, even though everyone with a pair of eyeballs saw it.
Okay. That's just a micro. What I'm trying to get at is you had the refs obviously trying to resurrect Russell Wilson. I mean, honestly, that's the only thing they really care, because they want to get back into that branding, make all this money. I just want to say this too. You even had the Jets trying to help the Broncos win this game on top of the referees with their nonsense and, coughing up the ball and everything else under the fucking sun. And this isn't just an isolated game. This is crap we saw last year and the year before, and this is what I'm trying to get at. This team is so bad that with all the help that it gets, it still can't even figure out how to win a game, no matter who the coach is. I honestly believe if you had a time tunnel, this team is so bad. The AFL Broncos, if they came from the 60s here, they would probably put a 60 burger on this current Denver Bronco team. I even think if you went to Australia and brought a rugby team in, they would lay 60, 70, 80 points on this Bronco team. It's that bad. And I don't see this thing just blowing it up. I don't see anything changing, and I only see it getting worse until the ownership realizes just the monster that was created, first of all, by the trust and John Elway. And then I even think bringing in Sean Payton just added gas to the fire. It just added gas to the fire. What do you think about all about the state of that organization?
Well, I think that you guys give this ownership way too much credit. I don't trust this ownership whatsoever. I don't think they have a sense or a clue what they're doing up there. I mean, just look at again, we could say that, oh man, if it gets so bad, they're going to realize that. I don't think they care, because in your last video that you guys did, you brought up how in probably 2-3 years, we probably won't have a Denver Broncos in the state of Denver. They don't give a shit. They care about marketing. They care about the shopping malls. They don't give a crap about the product on the field.
They care about NFL International.
But again, I think you guys give this ownership way too much credit, because I've been on it since day one. I don't trust this ownership. I don't trust anything they do, because how many businesses do you see? Let's take the business model, for example, because that's what they're coming from. They're coming from the Walmart model. That's why they're the Walmart generals. They kept the same people from the last regime over. But we're going to get blown out by 70 and lose to the Jets and all this stuff. And, oh, man, the ownership side finally going to realize. Bubbleman read off all those people that they brought in, all those marketing people. Do they really give a shit about the product on the field? I don't think so. They don't care.
Well, they just want to be out in the community doing this and out in the community doing that. And let's try to resurrect Russell Wilson to be something he's not. It really is a bad situation. I'd like to get into, well, what happens if they do move the team, hypothetically, if they brought in the NFL's internationally, still working with the NFL in that category. So it's like he wears two hats, one for the NFL and the executive branch, for international deals, and then the Broncos. So if they were to move to Mexico City, hypothetically, I see the Denver market, the NFL saying, okay, we obviously have plenty of people that want to buy a franchise, and we will Cleveland Brown you. We will keep the Bronco thing here, move this current Walmart, like you said, business entity market, this whole thing overseas, which wouldn't be overseas, down south of the border. That's what I could see. And we'll open up bids to get the Denver, reinstate the Broncos under a different ownership, like exactly like they did with Cleveland. What do you guys think about that thing, that idea?
I think it could happen. It could happen because the Broncos have history to them, but if that would be a way of blowing it up for us, I guess, start from scratch. But I think that's.
But would we get a bunch of owners again?
Yeah, we'd probably get we'd probably get group ownership with basketball players, with celebrities, and
Peyton Manning.
yeah, Manning. You know, we get John Elway 2.0 with Peyton Manning.
You know what? That could I don't know though if Peyton Manning and Elway could really work together, to be honest with you.
No, they could.
But that's a possibility too. You're right. John Elway getting into the mix, just continuing the crap that he's been doing,
Try his ownership.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe Elway would try that ownership bid again, and then we'd be screwed, and Elway would always be there no matter what. So.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. What do you think, Bucket Man?
Well, I just don't think you're going to get the Broncos of old ever again. I think that thing died with Bullen. I don't think you're ever going to get the Broncos from when Bullen took over until he unfortunately couldn't do the day. I don't think you're going to get guys like Adam Peters in here anymore. I love Adam Peters. I'm a big Adam Peters fan. Just look what San Francisco is doing right now. I mean, they're a well-oiled machine over there in San Francisco right now, and that comes from the top down, from that scouting department that Adam Peters brought over with him when he was in Denver, and also that Sunday night football game against the Dallas Cowgirls. You saw Adam Peters on the sideline next to John Lynch. That's how much high regard Adam Peters is right now, and I think he's going to be a GM, and I hope he goes and be's a GM somewhere that he can have the ability to do what he needs to do and rebuild the player personnel, because that's something that's lacking with the Broncos. But it's more than a player personnel issue. It's a culture issue. And to circle back to your guys' Sean Payton point, didn't we hear all offseason that Sean Payton was going to bring in a culture with him, and that is going to change the whole entire culture aspect of the Denver Broncos? I mean,
you're wrong.
How am I wrong? How?
They said it was changed. He changed it. That Mark Slaughter said it's already changed. He immediately did it. It was a magic wand that was waved. Changed.
They're like, Sean Payton brought that culture in with them. That locker room is set. It's the same fucking shit talking off-season bullshit that it always is. And then, same old.
Mark Slaughter, though, it's changed. It's changed. It just is. And then now he's talking of no, it's this culture. I don't want to bring Peters here.
No.
It'll just ruin his career. It'll ruin him. Because
I don't think Adam Peters would come here, Child Deliver. I don't think Adam Peters would come here because of what Elway did to him.
Well, if they don't get rid of that Elway stench, if they don't get rid of that Ellis,
I don't think they will.
Yeah, if they don't do it, you'll never get him here.
I think Bubbleman was right on this. I'm sorry for interrupting you again. I apologize. But this will be the last thing I say. Then I'll let you tee it off, Child Deliver. But Bubbleman brought it up. I think what they're going to do is they're going to get rid of some of these players, and they're going to be like, oh, see, that's all we needed to do is get rid of some of players, and that's going to change the fortunes for the Broncos. I think that is the next shoe to drop here coming up.
Yeah, that is what I said. They're trying to get ahead of the parade and try to lead the parade. The parade we said was coming. That this thing is going to collapse in its own footprint. We said that was going to happen. Now they're trying to get ahead of the parade over at the front office. But I'm agreeing with you, Bucket Man, when I say I'm not giving the ownership any credit. I believe they have no clue how bad this organization really is. They have absolutely no clue how bad this product is on the field. Sure, they look around. Yeah, there's a 1-4 team there. There's a 1-4. No, it's not this. This is like toxic, bad, extremely toxic. Everybody wants to come here and kick this organization's ass because they run their mouth all the time. They put that PR machine out there, and they all was a part of it. They're all, last year with Hackett, when they brought Hackett in, what were they doing? Making videos. Oh, we just lost the Bucket Man. He was going in and out. Making videos. Maybe we can get him back. I don't know. Making videos of how they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. running their mouths, and Kansas City, oh, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, Kansas City's going to come out and not play well. I think it'll be a sloppy game by Kansas City this week, but they'll still win.
No, this is where I do agree with Mark Slater. I think it's a cat playing with its food. I agree with them. They know they don't have to, and it's just like they got a break. When they play the Broncos, they know it's a break. And if they actually were to lose to the Denver Broncos, they would have to actually try to lose against the Denver Broncos. They would absolutely have to try.
Who do you think is going to get more help, the refs or the Broncos this week? Or the
the Chiefs or the Broncos or the refs? I probably the Broncos.
Yeah, I can imagine that because they want to keep it close, but the Chiefs don't really care about the Chiefs. Don't even bring the Broncos up. They don't really acknowledge the Broncos at all. The Broncos bring up the Chiefs. They bring up other teams a lot because that's how they stay relevant. Because they don't stay relevant on the field, they stay relevant off the field. They stay relevant in press conferences. So that's not a culture change from Sean Payton. That is how it's always been since Pat Bowlen left. So there's no culture change. We just have marketing people in the front office who care more about the product off the field, the PR, all the hype, and all the commercials and all the social media stuff. All these branches, DNVR,
community functions.
Yeah, that's what they care about when it comes to the product on the field. They're probably just looking for that 9-8 season just to sell.
Oh, they're begging for a 9-8 season. They're begging. Look who's back. Are you with us there? Good.
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, why they're coach killers in the building, that it's not just players, it's the entire staff. We're talking about the refs helping out the Broncos against Kansas City, but it's not going to do them any good. So anyway, that's what you basically missed. But yeah, aren't they getting Sean Payton set up for they're already chiseling out the rest in peace Sean Payton. Not that we feel sorry for him because he took the gig, but Sandy Clough was actually going off and acting as if Sean Payton is the front office, that he's running it all. I don't buy it for a second. He may be game planning or whatever, but he certainly isn't, in charge of all the, he's just going along with it all. Well, going along with what we've seen now for how many years? 8 years?
Well, George Paton wanted to bring in, I brought this up in my video yesterday. George Paton wanted to bring in Dan Quinn, and he got the tap on the shoulder because Elway wanted Rodgers so desperately bad. And when that didn't work out, they panicked and traded out all their draft capital, all their young players for one player, Russell Wilson, and we've seen how that's turned out. Russell Wilson, systematic quarterback or not, he's not worth $250 million in my opinion.
No. That's really what the issue is, and they do not address that.
No, they refuse to address that. Again, I brought this up too yesterday in the video I did. You could bring up he has better stats, but who's on the better football team and in the better organization? Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson? Who's on a better 53-man roster? Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson? Again, stats don't win you games. You have to have context behind those stats. When I coach my linebackers, my linebackers can have 10 tackles at least, and I don't go in and be like, oh my God, you had 10 tackles, you're good to go. No, I go and show the film behind those 10 tackles. Were they downfield? Were they at that? Did they tackle that player at the assigned position on the field that he was assigned to? That's the type of context that needs to be refined more when people talk about stats, not stacking them up, right, Matt Fanatic? You're stacking up those L's, aren't you, buddy?
Stacking up the L's. Yeah, they're stacking them up all right. So let's talk about George Paton because, inevitably he was always the fall guy. He was always hired as a front man, as window dressing. as the point two. But we know, and we've known for a long time, you've had NFL Insider. We had Dallas come out. We linked to it, saying that this was a John Elway move not to hire him. We have the NFL scout insiders with the NFL saying John Elway's tapping George Paton on the shoulder. He's not allowed to bring in the players that he wanted to bring. We all know that. We link to it. Because we bring sources. We don't just run our mouths. We bring sources to the table. So, what is George Paton really? What besides the win? I mean, he's got like, what is it? A half a dozen advisors, in this process. What GM, you get rid of George Paton, what GM is going to want to become the next Vance Joseph, the next Fangio, the next Hackett, the next George Paton? I mean, do you think, again, this ownership has no clue? Are they going to get an Elway relative to come in? I mean, what's the deal?
No, well, this is what they're going to do. They're going to get rid of a few players that they can trade first off, and then they're going to be like, we're tearing it down. Then they're going to fire George Paton, and they're going to bring in another George Paton, and then they're going to call it a day.
George Paton 2.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what they did. Well, get the honk. Clown, the whole thing. Look, we've changed the culture.
They're gonna be like, we blew it up, guys. We really did it this time, and then it's gonna be the same shit next year.
And you say, well, how come everybody in the front office is still there? What all you did was you took a canvas, put white paint on it, right? Clean it up, and now you're gonna paint the same picture. The same artist is going to come out there and paint the same crap picture, right?
Yeah. And then you're going to get more Nick Burrito, more Randy Gregory. You're going to get the same shit, different names. So,
I just want to expand on that point. If the ownership gets their shit together, which that's a big if for me. If they get their shit together and they blow up that front office, and you keep Sean Payton, and you keep him. There's one guy out there that I would be happy to bring in, and you give him total control of that front office, and you let him bring in the scouts that he wants, and that's Jeff Ireland. Jeff Ireland.
I'm with you.
But again,
ownership.
Let me expand on that. That's if they clean out that front office, get rid of the Moogies, the Brian Starks, the PR department, the Patrick Smythes, get rid of them. You go get Jeff Ireland. You let him bring in the scouts that he wants to bring in. Sorry.
The Patrick Walshes, the John Elway.
Yes.
Elway. You have to get Elway out of there.
Yes.
You can't have
lock the doors.
Desk. Yeah. You have to, and for those of you out there who think like, what are they talking about? Oh. I guess I'll have to link the video of George Paton. The link. Well, both George Paton actually did. He was with Sean Payton. They both together said we're going to be working with John Elway at the beginning of this season. Even though the clown boy, 12-year-old, Zach Stevens, asked the direct question to Sean Payton that he was supposed to answer the way the front office wanted him to answer it, and maybe that's too why he called out Nathaniel Hackett. It was a deal that they made, for he had the balls to say that, no, John Elway's obviously still here. And I'm going to link that video for you all to see. So we're not just making this up.
Yeah. And you don't even need that. You could just tell by the moves they made. I mean, yeah. Elway did a good one with Marvin Mims so far, at least, you know what I mean?
Well, that they say now, according to the content creators, that guy was strictly a Sean Payton pick.
I want to ask you guys a question here. And while I was at work the other day, I called Chopped Liver, and I had him sit and listen to Cecil Lammy going on and on about this organization. It was actually really, really funny. So thank you, Cecil Lammy, for your great comedy. But there was one thing that really stuck out to me that I actually am intrigued by about how they're calling Sean Payton a tyrant and all this, that, and the third, just like they called Fangio. I really, really wonder, slowly but surely, if he's trying his damnness. And I don't know if I'm getting a little ahead of myself here and giving Sean Payton way too much credit, but I wonder if he is trying to block out this PR department, like the Cecil Lammies of the world, people like that, where they're getting so pissed off because they're not getting that steak and macaroni and cheese like Cody Rourke. I really, really wonder if he is slowly but surely letting the front office, desecrate themselves, and he's just sitting back like this. And now, again, that's me giving Sean Payton way too much credit, but I really just listening to the people that have spun this for 8 years, how pissed off they're getting. It's really intriguing to me, really eye-opening to me to see that happening right now.
Well, I think Sean Payton has the door and has the office and has the communication with Condoleezza Rice and Penner. And I think that those talks and all that is a counter to Brian Starks, counter to George Paton and all that. To Elway, still in his office. I think there's a closed door that goes on. But let's not forget, Sean Payton did the bidding of those same people, the Elway, the old regime, by calling out Nathaniel Hackett. All that did was say the players aren't to blame. The front office is not to blame. It's all Hackett.
Okay, now this is, again, I'm probably wrong on this assessment, so forgive me, because I sound like one of them. I'm gonna sound like one of them, chopped liver and bubble man. But what do you guys think about him doing all this?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of. He's doing all this in spite of in terms of he's doing this, saying, okay, all right, you're going to tell me to do this, do that in the third, but if it doesn't work out, you guys are gone. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm giving Sean Payton way too much credit here, and I'm sounding like those people at the PR department. But I wonder if Sean Payton is be like, all right, I'll go along with this, but if this doesn't work out, you guys are gone at the end of the year.
We can hope, because after these losses, it doesn't look like Sean Payton cares. He kind of has that look.
That's what I'm saying. That yep.
And he's running his system. I mean, you could tell that Sean Payton has his agenda, and it doesn't align. His agenda is to get rid of Elway players specifically. Like the Garrett Bowles being on the trade block, the Simmons being on the trade block, the Jerry Jeudy's, the Cortland Suttons, those players being on the trade block.
Was Cortland Sutton really ever, or did Sean Payton really want to incorporate Cortland Sutton? What's the truth behind that?
I think
they wanted to get rid of him during the offseason, Jeudy and Sutton. And you know what, chopped liver and bubble man, I don't think that would have ever happened under Hackett or Fangio, because they were that's what I'm talking about.
They weren't paying those guys.
Exactly, but they weren't paying them. But again, Sean Payton, like the bubble man said, Sean Payton wants to run his system. He does. He wants to. We've seen that. He wants to run those.
Yeah, but let's back up a little bit here. Fangio. Why was Fangio hired? Why? What was the purpose for Elway and Ellis to hire Fangio? What was that purpose?
Defense coordinator.
He was a defensive coordinator. And don't worry, me and Kubiak, I think the idea was they were going to sell Kubiak at that time, they were going to sell Kubiak was going to run, and that fell through. They had to end up going and begging for Rich Scangarello. And then Elway, because they brought Flacco, and I think Flacco was also promised Kubiak. So that blew up in their face. And, sure. But Fangio, he should have never signed up to be a acting head coach. Never should have done that. So what happened? There was with Fangio, there was the rebellion. Remember they were yelling at him on the sidelines and all that stuff. And he's a tyrant. The same thing we're hearing now with Payton. He's a tyrant. Bring in user friendly. Hackett. What was Hackett's real job to do when they brought Hackett? What was he really supposed to do when they hired him? What exactly was he supposed to
do? He was supposed to revolutionize the offense.
Before that, what was he supposed to do before?
Bring in Rodgers.
That was it. He was there to talk Rodgers off the ledge and come to the Denver Broncos. Now, the content creators want to say it was Green Bay that had cold feet. Well, we know that's not true. We know that's not true because he went to the Jets and for less money. And you know that's not true. He wanted nothing to do with this organization wisely. And so Hackett's had no purpose, really.
Well, you bring up the tyrant stuff. And again, this correlates to that point that I brought up earlier. I don't think Sean Payton goes along. Again, when you watch those press conferences, you have D-Mac who's pissed off after those saying, Sean Payton isn't answering my questions, this, that, and the third. He's not giving me what I want. Again, and that's what Cecil Lammy said. So that's what I'm saying. I am wondering right now if he's just sitting back like this and he, like the Bubbleman said, he's not giving two shits. And then hopefully at the end of the year, again, this is 8-9 years run, so I don't know why I'm putting myself through this again. But again, 8-9 years run, and I really am wondering because again, we didn't see this under Hackett or Fangio where these PR people they're pissed off at the answer Sean Payton gives them because he doesn't kiss their ass.
Well, like I said, they were getting pissed off in the very beginning because he wasn't going to go through the content creators.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
He has his own people outside of that he, telegraphs to. It's going to come down to what and Penner and Condoleezza Rice are talking about. Nothing's going to matter about Sean Payton, the press, and the content creators if they don't get. You said that. What was his face? Bronco Syndicate probably got the axe. He's what? No more.
He makes videos, but they don't pop up on your feed.
No, they stopped because Chat Sports. They're on the payroll. Anybody who's getting 3K views, because once Penner took over, or the Walton Walmart group took over, those content creators' views all magically all of a sudden went up with the help of that PR department for that social media part of it. They have paid for views, paid for subs, and you can do that if you're one of these, and you can shadow ban my comment with a link on your website. I mean, it's them tube now. That's why I just soon go to BitChute, because they can't ban the links. They can't ban the video. They just can't do it. But I think because he's blamed Sean Payton right off the bat, and now that's what everybody else is starting to do. They're getting on the syndicate bandwagon on blaming Sean Payton. We've seen this, and it is kind of seemingly like a war between. And then, of course, you said Cecil Lammy's, but he kept saying, "I don't care if I get fired." What, for telling the truth? Telling the truth. And I'm not saying Sean Payton's doing a crack job, but at the same time, look the player personnel that he inherited, just like Hackett, just like Fangio.
Vance Joseph.
Just like Vance.
On offense,
got rid of all the dogs.
He's Vic Fangioing the offense, making what he can out of chicken shit.
Well, you know what? I think, again, Cecil Lammy brought it up when I don't know if you listened to it, Bubbleman. I'll send you the link after we're done here so you can take a quick listen to it. But he brings up the part where, when you're down 2 scores, you're running the football. I think what's happening is he is not doing that 20-plus yard bullshit that the content creators want him to do, that Pat Shimmerwald, because we've seen in the second half when they go off script. But I just want to bring up the point, when they do that Sean Payton offense, the quick throws, running the ball, that set up those Marvin Mims big plays. That set up the big plays downfield in the middle of the field. So I think what you're seeing is the war, the political war going at it right now. And what's happening is Sean Payton isn't doing that 20-plus yard bullshit frequently, consistently, as those content creators want him to do.
Well, what did the Jets do? What did the Jets do when they came in the
run the football?
They ran it right down. So you don't need to do Shermer ball.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I agree that he didn't start throwing the ball all over the place in the second half, but
again, this is the point that I just want to bring up. He's not doing it consistently like we saw when Hackett got the call, when Fangio got the call, this, that, and
I didn't get the
other.
call.
Yeah. When they got the call, and that's what I'm talking about. Sean Payton wants to run those jumbo sets, crossing routes in the middle of the field, those quick throws, running the football, get that fullback Michael Burton, the tight ends involved. That's what he wants to do. And again, you're not seeing that 20-plus yards consistently. And I think what Bubbleman said, and what you said, Chop Deliver, that political war inside that organization is going on right now.
Well, yeah, that's why you have to get rid of Elway. You have to.
Well, in the front office,
running interference.
In the front office too,
and all the advisors to Sean Payton, or to George Paton. You know, that whole Ellis Elway. You can't have it there.
And that PR department. Yeah.
Yeah.
Players
badly about them.
I think Sean Payton's just letting the front office do the front office, and he's sitting back. And I think this is there could, I mean, this is like very optimistic, wishful thinking. By the way, disclaimer, I mean, the chance of this happening is low considering what the organization has shown, but just maybe a glimmer of hope that Sean Payton is kind of just, they're going to be gone season. Maybe there's times he like sabotages it too to like lose the game because, he wants the front office gone too. So, I mean, but.
Well, again, the Bubbleman, you brought up the point how he doesn't care in those press conferences, and that's pissing off those PR people. That it's really pissing him off. He's not giving them what they want. And again, you just see the shelling out of fire Sean Payton. He's a tyrant. All this, that, and in the third, he bullies the media. He bullies the players. You guys wanted the players to coach the team, and look how that turned out.
They still want that. They still want to hang on.
And I think Sean Payton is blocking that from happening too, by the way. I think, and that's what's pissing off the Lammies of the world, the syndicates of the world, the Mile High Huddles of the world, the Zach Stevens of the world, because Sean Payton isn't listening and kissing their ass.
Locked on.
Yeah, Locked On Broncos, Cody Rourke. It's pissing them off.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is how I see it. I see, my question is, how aware is the ownership?
That's the crux of it. Yep.
I think
how aware. My question to the ownership is this: how aware are you on what you inherited, the administration you inherited, those people that are still in there that you inherited? Okay, you're listening to Sean Payton. Okay, are you? I don't know. Maybe you're all together. My question is, the PR people are pissed off, but that doesn't mean that Elway, Payton, and the owners are all really in lots.
But again, Top Deliver, again, the PR department is an extension of that front office of Patrick Smythe, all those people. So,
Yeah. The only way, this thing's going to get worse. I mean, you do know that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That for years, dude. It's going to get worse before it gets better, hopefully. And you bring up the point about how aware this ownership is. I wonder, I think you're on to something, Chop Deliver, about how I think that Sean Payton might have a direct line to basically Penner and Condoleezza Rice right now. I want to be a fly on the wall during those conversations. I do.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Have little closed door meetings, secret meetings in the corner, in the office when Elway and them aren't around. And I'm sure Sean Payton's just basically telling them like it is. And I'm sure, and because of those closed door conversations, because so Simmons being on the trade block would have never happened under Vic Fangio. Garrett Bowles on the trade block would have never happened under Vic Fangio or Nathaniel. This is only made possible because Sean Payton's probably walking into that office with Condoleezza Rice and Greg Penner. These secret meetings are going down. And he's like, I can't do it with this front office because Greg Penner is the one The Sean Payton hiring was a Greg Penner hiring. That was all Penner. So that is Penner's guy. That is the one connection that is Penner. So he, of course, is probably having these secret meetings. Look, these players are dog shit. These John Elway players, they suck. They got to go. I can't win with these guys. If you want a winning product, they have to.
You got to get rid of the people that brought him in. They're still there.
Yeah. Well, they can't do that mid-season, but I'm sure that conversation could have also, he's probably saying, I can't do it with these people tapping me on the shoulder every 2 seconds.
And again, Bubbleman, you brought up the point about how they're like the Simmons, the Bowleses of the world, all the above. I think they're going to try and do whatever they can to get that draft capital. And again, I keep hearing draft capital. They're trying to get draft capital. And again, like you got to hit on those picks, and that is that front office. That is and again, are you going to get picks for these players? I mean, how much, dude, are you going to get a third rounder for Justin Simmons on how bad he's playing right now? I mean, you had Joseph Jewell
He's been playing bad for a long time.
Well, yeah, obviously. I've been pointing that out for 3-4 years now. I mean, it's not same with Surtain. Surtain's playing awful, and I've been pointing that out for 2 years.
Oh, he got an interception, though. He's the best corner in the game.
Well, an interception that should have never been. I mean,
nothing to see there. He's the best corner in the game, so we don't want to trade him.
Yeah, if I had time, I'd love to do a video on that basically all 22 of just how great he was in that game.
Well, there was an article I read that asked, is Sean Payton's seat warming up? So I'm sure the front office is probably starting to bang the table to get rid of Payton for the reason that the front office is getting. So
so what we are saying, or what you guys are saying in particular, is that there's a battle starting to get. Who is the ownership going to get rid of? The old guard or Sean Payton? But here, I just want to say this quick, because this is about the media and all this. It's confusing to me about where this really is because Sean Payton did something he was never supposed to do, and this goes flying against the local media that's been put together by the front office when he said, no, obviously Elway's still here. Exactly the opposite of what Stevens was. But it's the contradiction to that is the Hackett call out. Now, Sandy Clough would say it's all his ego. I don't believe that. I believe that is the front office saying that our players aren't to blame. It was that coach. We have these great players, because this was before we played. I don't know. It was during the preseason or right before the preseason at that time. So, and there probably is some truth. Yeah, there are 5 games I could have won, so maybe we'd have 10 wins and we could get to the play. Maybe there is truth to that, but I believe when he said the Hackett thing that there was more to that behind the scenes than just his ego.
Okay, so again, chopped liver. This is I think this is where Bubbleman and I are kind of aligned here, where there's a method behind it. I mean, he is so outmatched in that front office right now. I mean, just go look at the people in that front office. They're all Elway players, and he's just Sean Payton's in there.
Well, it's all Elway people in the front office.
It's all Elway people, all the above. Sorry, not Elway players. Well, he has that on the player personnel side, but in terms of the management, again, I wonder if I'm going to go along with this. But again, we're going to see how the season goes in the end of the season. If you guys continue this, your guys are gone. Again, I don't know. There's a method behind it, because after that John Elway, after you called out Elway, the whole weed thing came out, the video. Again, it is confusing, but the more I think about it and the more I put things together, again, I like to, tear up a car and go through the bolts and stuff in detail. I wonder if there's a method behind it. I do. I just wonder if there's a method behind this right now, because you see, again, you would have never had this shit under a Hackett, a Fangio, or a Joseph, where these players are on the trade block. Well, and then you have. Go ahead.
Again, I have to bring your attention. Fangio and Hackett, there were no owners. Okay, I have to bring your attention, and this goes to what you're saying. Penner tried to get Payton. It went down the tubes. They went back because they really wanted Sean Payton. They really, really wanted Sean Payton. So they get with Condoleezza Rice and say, look, you got to, we couldn't get him. You got to go. So the bottom line, I'm going to bottom line it. At the end of the day, Sean Payton is not Ellis's and Elway, that entity. Okay. This is strictly a Penner, Condoleezza Rice bring in. This is their baby. You know, they signed it was all them. They didn't even let George Paton be a part of that. This was all on them. So this is their guy. This is something.
Meetings again, Rice, Penner, and all the above.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, I said this from the very beginning. Remember, and you were saying, I don't know. I said, we're talking egos. Sean Payton is their guy. So by default, there probably is this going on because you still have the remnants of that trust lurking around, aka John Elway, and all of the King's horses and all the King's men. A lot of them are still there. Now, Penner Group brought in a bunch of people, and this is what makes it even worse, in my opinion. You've got just a bunch of people there, none of them football people, most of them. You know, what do you want football people to do when it's like you're working for a branding company? You're not even working for an NFL organization. You're not working for a team. You're working just for a branding company. Does Sean want to be here now? I don't think anybody's been in a situation like this ever.
And that's the confusing part about this whole thing. I mean, are they gonna take football serious after this year? Or are they just gonna continue the same old bullshit?
That's because I'm waiting to see how the owners deal. I mean, I'm
waiting to see what this again. I wonder. I really wonder. I do about that because you know you sit there, and again, yeah, I understand Sean Payton's their baby, but man, dude, this screams war going on right now. I mean, it just screams it. You just you take the orange and blue color glasses off and you just look behind the curtain and you have all the information in front of you, the factual information in front of you. I mean, my God, it's like a war going on. I think Bubbleman's right. You have those secret meetings going on with Payton, Condoleezza Rice, and Penner. I think that's going on, and that's pissing off the Smythes of the world, the Moogies of the world, the Brian Starks of the world. I mean, just look at the Marvin Mims draft pick, which I didn't like because I didn't think you needed a receiver. There were more issues.
The word was that was Sean Payton. It wasn't those guys.
And then after that pick, look at all the other draft picks that happened after that. They haven't, but the Marvin Mims pick has turned out to be good, and I've been wrong on that pick. I've been wrong, completely wrong.
We were all wrong on that.
And I'm not afraid to admit that. But again, that shows the ineptitude of that front office after that Marvin Mims pick. It just shows it, and it shows the past 7 years.
Yes, those are probably discussions. Well, you got McLaughlin too, who's like what did you say that McLaughlin serves as a?
Well, Mathis serves as a safety more than he does a corner.
No, I'm talking about the running back. You said that.
He serves as an Alvin Kamara. I've said that since the preseason, the offseason.
So does that have more of a Sean Payton feel to it than a front office feel? Yeah.
Yes.
Because it fits hand in glove with the system.
With the Alvin Kamara type. And look what happened. They were using him in screens.
Yes.
They're using him on wheel routes, Texas routes. They were using him in a creative way.
But I got to ask this to both of you. Let's just call it head coach X. Forget names. Just head coach X. What would you as a head coach in this organization with everything going on behind the scenes, that massive PR thing, the old regime in the administrative part, the new regime bringing in this clash of administrators all over the place as just a head coach X, forget a name. If you were the head coach, what the hell would you make of it?
I'd probably be like Sean Payton after the losses, just sitting there like, because at the end of the day, if you're at work and your boss is telling you what to do, you're not the boss. You don't agree with what they're saying, and you know it's not going to work. You can't not do it if you want to work there. So you have to just kind of go along with it. And And then you'll probably get thrown under the bus by your boss when it goes south anyway. But I mean,
Get your retirement check there and, go into
Child deliver. You were the one that brought it up, man. You were the one that brought it up in the offseason. You said you wonder if there was a method behind what Sean Payton was doing. You're the one I could bring up the video where you brought it up.
Yeah.
And again, I understand your hesitation.
Well, I don't even know
I get it. I get your hesitation, Child deliver. I'm there with you. But again, we have not seen this type of, let's say we haven't seen this type of situation for 7-8. We haven't seen it. It's something completely new to us because we've seen the same old bullshit for 7-8 years. So I think that's why it's confusing to the three of us where we're sitting back and
how this thing's gonna
yeah, exactly. Because you are the first person to bring it up where you thought you were the first person saying you were wondering if Sean Payton was to be like, all right, let the John Elway front office do what they want. We're going to see what's going to happen on the field. And then I think those conversations, Simmons needs to go, Bowles needs to go, but most importantly, that front office needs to go before those players.
So what we're saying is maybe because we
that's a big if.
We've seen fire the coach for so many, fire the coach. Notice we haven't even talked about Vance Joseph, because that's just
he's gone. That's a given. That guy's
it's being talked by the content creators so much we don't even need to address it.
Yeah.
But it's the chess match going on at behind the scenes, or is there one? Is what we're trying to figure out. Is there really a war going on about who's going to get let go? Is it going to be George Paton? I don't think so. If it's going to be, if this ownership had to decide, should we get rid of George Paton or the people who screwed up for 8 years now? George Paton, which one are they going to, what's going to be easier for them to let go?
You need to get rid of them both. You need to get rid of them both. It's not one or the other. Get rid of them both.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
no, it's not George Paton or the front or the scouts. You need to get rid, collectively blow it up, get rid of them.
That's where I'm wondering if
That's what you need to do.
Let's go back to the international thing for anybody that wonders why are they talking about moving it to Mexico. We're saying that because the ownership group snuck something out to the public. They said there is going to be a major marketing overhaul in 2 years, one way or the other. And then they have that guy, the international, and I'm just wondering what if that means there's going to actually be a big move with this organization, literally move, and it has to do with. And I'm looking at me and Bubbleman talked about this. You look at the Jags; they're really getting the Jags set up to be a staple over in London.
Well, that's been happening for years now. I mean, I could have said that 3, 4, 5 years ago.
So, but
they're just getting them used to London. That's all they're doing, and then they're just going to be like, all right, boop, go to London.
That's what it looks like to me. But you can't just have London. You have to have at least one more. And I would say because they were doing Mexico City, they've kind of backed off on Mexico City. But I mean, they still need, that would be the most logical country to get a football team with London. So
move the team back to St. Louis.
Well, who knows? But I know that Denver has a good market that, I think even better than Cleveland. And I think that they
have more delusional fans out here than you do Cleveland Brown fans.
Well, I'm just talking about the market. I'm talking about what we've seen when the Broncos and when the Commanders were up. All the people that came and said, "Hey, we'll buy a team." That I think if they moved this team to Mexico, there would be plenty of people that would be willing to buy the expansion team, expansion, non-expansion Bronco. That's what they did with Cleveland. They kept Cleveland in Cleveland, and they could just do that same model. Keep a team in the Denver Broncos in Denver and just move the current ownership move to Mexico and be a part of that international. Because now you'll have NFL and NFL International, so you'll have the Walter Penner Group apart, being spearheading the international. They hired the guy, the number one guy for the NFL. So he wears both hats, according to the bio. He's all the articles I've read. They're still involved in that. So he's like, he has two jobs, really. That's where I'm coming in with that.
Yeah.
So I just think that we're going to see how. Well, if they do that, they'll just, like you said, they probably will get rid of Sean Payton. They'll get rid of everybody. Everybody will be purged.
I mean, personally, that's what I would do. If I really had to do it, I'd just blow everything up and just be like, okay, we're starting fresh or starting clean. But again, you talked about the ego factor. I think that, again, they're going to, I think, in my personal opinion, the way I see this going from just, taking everything in, I think what you're going to see, I think you're going to see Sean Payton stay. I think George Paton's gone, like Bubbleman said. I think they're going to get rid of a few players here and there. And the whole key for me is if they get rid of the Moogies, the Starks of the world. Ownership, and if you ever get this, please get rid of those. The Walsh, get rid of that scouting department, get rid of that team management, and bring in Jeff Ireland and let him bring in the scouts and just say, hey, you are in control. We're the ownership. We'll worry about marketing, but you guys worry about the product on the field. And if we have to step in, we'll step in, but we'll take a step back, let you do what you need to do, and bring in Jeff Ireland, bring in the scouts that he wants, and rebuild this team with Payton and Jeff Ireland together and rebuild the line of scrimmage correctly.
Well, they have to get rid of these content creators because of these players. All they hear about is how I opened up.
That's the last thing. Again, that's the last thing on my mind. You can let the content creators do what they want to do. Let them fucking do it. But I'm more focused on,
This is the problem. These players, they keep listening to these people tell they keep telling the players how great they are all the time.
Then that needs to be a front office standard where stop listening to the content creators, let them run their mouth, let them do it, and stop listening to them.
Don't pay them. Just pay football people. Stop paying PR people. Pay football people, and then the PR will take care of itself. The problem is I just did this whole skit on this. The players are I gotta go with the PR. We got this to do. They make me feel good. They tell me how great I am all the time. That's why when they're out on the field, they don't have to give you 4 quarters. They'll give you some yardage. They'll catch a pass. Hey, I did what what do you want from me? I got a meeting with the PR. They're coddly. They tell me how great I am.
Well, look, I showed you. I let you listen to the players in the locker room after the Jets game.
Yeah, talk about that.
What have I said about my guys? What have I said about Mike McGlinchey this whole time?
No good.
Well, he doesn't fit the system.
Yeah,
and he sucks. You overpaid for another right tackle. He's Jawan James 2.0. And then, but again, you had Mike McGlinchey saying, "Well, I didn't know we were this bad."
You didn't?
You didn't? Mike McGlinchey? Really? Are you that dumb? I live in my mother's basement and watch the all. What I don't understand what all 22 you guys are watching, because what I'm seeing on the all 22 is dog shit.
Well, they're told how great they are. Just constantly the Cecil Lammies, remember?
Yeah. You have people like these rappers like the Mad Fanaco. You're gonna stack them up, right, buddy? You are the stain on my toilet paper.
Yeah. So and then from DNVR down to Preacher Man, all you hear is BS. They hear it all the time. Why do they have to put an effort in? You don't have to put an effort in. You said the press conference, they all act all confused. Like, oh wow,
you have Alex Singleton saying that the fans should be pissed, and then you have Josie Jewell saying, "Well, I wouldn't go that far," and he's laughing.
Alex,
man,
he's probably not even a third string linebacker on any other team in the NFL. So
when you listen to the locker room, they are so self-unaware, and this is why I'm saying, is the ownership also self-unaware of what is going on? This thing they created.
Because they didn't fire this front office; they let it stay in place. But again, I feel like I'm too optimistic here. But again, I wonder if there's a method behind it.
I don't, you know,
I don't know.
Maybe the front office. Maybe the front office boom them in 2022. Maybe this year they're like, this is your last chance, and if it's another shitty season, you're gone. And Sean Payton's just kind of like.
Well, but Bubbleman, we brought it up how much money they shelled out this offseason. I mean, they were like top 2 in free agent. I wonder if they were like, okay, go shell it out, see what happens. The Ben Powers, McGlinchey, you know, all these.
This is the most expensive defense. This has been defense.
Yeah. I wonder if they're like, I wonder if Sean Payton was like, all right, let's see what you guys do here. I again, that was a lot of money they shelled out. That was a buttload of money.
It's not even a drop in the bucket for the Walmart group.
At the beginning of as we were getting towards the mini camps and all that, the ownership dropped a bomb and said this big marketing push in 2 years. Something is up 2 years from that time. So I don't know. Maybe there's one more year of this. I don't know, but they got something cooking. Something is cooking for that big branding push that they're discussing.
If the ownership actually was aware and they actually got rid of that front office, got rid of the scouts and brought in Jeff Ireland, brought in, you know, those guys. Man, that would be music to my ears, man. That would be probably the most excited I've been in 8 years. Again, that would be awesome for me. Great for me.
That just tells me they probably won't do it.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna go the opposite spectrum. They're gonna go on the opposite side of it and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna go bring in a GM that doesn't agree with Sean Payton's system, that doesn't fit. They're not in lockstep. That's probably what they're gonna do.
They're going to bring in Peyton Manning next, and Peyton Manning's going to John Elway.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I don't think Peyton would touch this with a 10-foot pole.
He had his opportunity and he didn't do it. So.
Yeah. I think Peyton Manning knows how he was the one giving the middle finger to John Elway. So.
Didn't Gary Kubiak do the same thing?
Yep. I'm like Peyton Manning, John Elway in the middle. Yeah. And there was that article that you sent us of them saying perhaps Pat Bowlen's greatest move ever, bringing in John Elway. I was like, that article is, to me, that signaled Elway knows he's on his way out this time. And that was like his final like hooray moment, was that article of them kissing his ass and trying to like say that Pat Bowlen, his greatest accomplishment and his greatest move was bringing in John Elway, just the final ass kissing. Because I think Elway and this front office know with every loss, maybe they're on their way out. They know that if they're not 9-8, like their goal is, they're halfway there. They're halfway to 8 losses. They have Kansas City, Green Bay, Kansas City. You could probably imagine it could be 1-7, 1-8.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to sleep. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chopler.
Well, they got 4 losses, right? What 4? Okay, they're going to lose to the Bills. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. Why? If that's 3, unless the Chiefs.
Again, I wouldn't sleep on. I know the Packers. I know that quarterback for the Packers choked a lot, but dude, I'm telling you, that defensive front for the Packers, dude, dude, I'm just saying that offensive line for the Packers, they are a run-heavy football team, and they're rebuilding over there. So again, you might I'm not sleeping on the Packers either.
Wilson looked like, he was and he wasn't even doing anything. They're running the football.
And in that offense, the LaFleur offense is basically an extension of the Shanahan offense, and they actually stick to run. Again, I'm telling you right now, I'm not sleeping on the Packers either. I'm not.
I think Denver loses that game, actually. I've been saying I think they're gonna go on a game skid here, and then they're gonna get creamed in Buffalo. They're going to lose to Minnesota. They're going to lose to Cleveland. They're going to lose to Houston. They're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to get their asses kicked by Detroit.
They might not win another game this year.
That's what the talk is. Well, let me just ask this. Is it very likely they'll lose at least 5 games?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Okay, so that means they're going to have a below 500 season when it's all said and done.
New England, maybe they'll beat New England. New England's looked very terrible. I think they're.
I know. We got the Broncos in New England being the cellar dwellers. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't think Belichick wants to kick the Broncos' ass either?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think New England's currently tanking. I think they're done with Mac Jones and his shit, to be honest. I think
that's sad, man. Dude, that is sad. They ruined him.
Yeah, they fucked him. Then they got the Chargers and the Raiders. Maybe they win one of those two last games, but because one of those teams will find
I'm a losses. I just see that this is not going to be a winning season for the Broncos.
Oh no,
they're worse. I think this year is going to be the worst. What do we say is going to get worse before it gets better? This might be the worst season in Broncos history. Honestly, I don't see another win on the schedule, dude. You might have the help of the refs, and you might luck into 2 or 3 more wins, 2-3 more wins, but that's stretching it. And you ain't gonna beat Kansas City. You sure as hell ain't gonna beat Kansas City in Arrowhead and the Bills in Buffalo on Monday Night Football. I cannot wait for that game either. That is gonna be a nationally televised game.
I think after what's gonna happen Thursday, I don't know why the NFL would even show it, but
I would show it.
But they're probably on the volleyball match at halftime instead of the football game.
Yeah.
So. Do you think that the independent contractors, I mean, to me, this Broncos are a team full of independent contractors. Do you think with Gregory that this has been put out there before about other players are like, maybe I can get out of here. Maybe I can, that's their goal. The goal is to get out of here.
The Broncos players know something's coming because they're even saying they fear a potential teardown is coming. So basically what that tells me is like, oh, my John Elway immunity is running out.
Yeah, so are the Rats trying to get off the ship before it sinks?
I was reading Justin Simmons to Philadelphia is the team that's
he'll be he's not going to be a starter.
He's going to be a backup. He's going to be a depth piece, just like Randy Gregory.
I hope Philly doesn't make that move. I really hope they don't.
Justin Simmons. If you guys want to lose to the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl on a deep pass in a critical situation, then bring in Justin Simmons. But
again, you have the game on Thursday. Then they have that. I think they have the bye week this week, so it's going to be a long stretch. I'm going to be very curious to see what they do during that bye week.
Well, they have the bye week after their second Kansas, so they have Chiefs.
Oh, okay. So it'll probably, because the trade deadline's coming up, so we'll see what they do before the trade deadline.
That's part of the equation is the trade deadline, and that may also translate to what's going to happen at the front office.
I hope so.
I mean, it sounds to me they're getting rid of all those people that we mentioned, names that we mentioned, their players that they pay.
But again, this is the other crux. Are they actually, if they're going to get rid of these players and they're going to get rid of these front office people, are they actually going to bring in the right people and the right players? Or are they going to continue to, bring in players that,
just 2.0.
Yes. Yep.
George Paton 2.0.
That's what I'm more focused on than anything right now.
Yeah. So
we hope. But yeah, they
have hopium.
Chiefs and then a bye week, then Buffalo on Monday Night Football. So
get that hopium.
I'm so glad their freaking first part of the schedule, their dog shit part of the schedule. I mean, this is the easiest part of the schedule they had all year with the Raiders, the Commanders, the Bears, and the Jets. So,
yeah, but who knew this was coming? I mean, this isn't a shock to us at all.
I'm saying that the content creators and the front office, the Elway crowd, they're trying to get ahead of the parade, by, Sean Payton, we got to, it's all his fault. The players, oh my God, it's such an injustice. And maybe they are hanging themselves. Maybe that we've heard enough of that stuff that there's going to be a major purge.
Yeah. The players know it's coming too. Something's happening. Did you see Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson too on the sideline?
Yeah, catch the damn or throw the damn ball.
Yeah,
throw the fucking ball, basically.
And, Russell Wilson, you're home. He just right past him.
I like that Saleh said that we had to make Russell Wilson play quarterback, and when he played quarterback, it didn't really work out for him. I was like, dang.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Look, Sean Payton doesn't even want Russell Wilson on the field. He doesn't.
The adjustment that the Jets made, and the Jets with the adjustment that the Jets made was that they put a spy on Wilson, and then he couldn't run around anymore. They put C.J. Mosley and they put Quincy Williams.
Chicago did that too.
Yeah, they put a spy on him after that first half, and they're like, "You're not going to run for those big yardage. You're not going to get those yardage gains again. We're going to put a spy on you." And then that got that defensive front home because he was holding on to the ball too long, going for the deep shot again.
Yeah. How'd that running around like it's the zoo back there work for you, Russell Wilson? How'd that work in the second half?
Well,
that might be the best defensive front we've played all year outside of Buffalo coming up.
That was the content creators. They wanted that. They wanted to run around. Yeah. Holding on to the ball, running around. Yeah.
Running around back there like.
I mean, you can't take these content creators seriously because they're always wrong.
I'm so glad that this week, same way she lost last week on a scoop and four fumble.
Yeah, I said there would be I told you there would be a scoop score.
And then I saw that Jets fumble because I had to stop watching the game at the end of the first half. What team wanted to lose that game more is the question. I mean,
didn't we see that last year with the Colts?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 10 times worse offense than this one, and the Broncos defense, they couldn't stop it. Oh, if we just had Edgero, it'd be all good. Yeah.
I brought that up in my video. If Edgero thought this was a great defense, he wouldn't have fled Carolina. But again, he was Nathaniel Hackett's friend. Why didn't he go to New York?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, these are questions that need answered, but you won't get that.
No, they won't even ask the question.
How's that looking in Carolina right now?
Well, he's not here. That's the big thing.
He ran for the hills. He got out of there, and he's 0-5. But the defense is still slightly better than the Broncos. But if this is a great defense and a guy's trying to be a head coach, he would have stayed where the great defense was.
No, I'm mad at. That's why I said, you bring in Coach X, you take a look at the situation. What are you to do? You know, you got PR people.
I think Sean Payton is providing the education about football to Rice and to Penner, and I think he's telling them what's going on in this organization. Closed door meeting. I think
I think there's some closed door stuff going too. I do think that as well.
Coming out and saying that there's a teardown coming. This wouldn't have been possible. This wouldn't have happened under Fangio. It wouldn't have happened under Van.
Yes.
Under Hackett. This is Sean Payton. So Sean Payton's the one who spilled.
Their guy is Sean Payton.
But again, I gotta side with Chopped Liver that we didn't have ownership like this before. Payton. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have ownership. We didn't have the ownership here before Payton. So
I think
also you're seeing the fire. The content creators he won't talk to us. He will fire him.
Hearing how you're going to be the fucking best team in the NFL every fucking year too. He's probably sick of hearing it. Just like we're sick of hearing it. Just like the rest of the NFL is sick of fucking hearing it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Tell me how Justin Simmons is, how great Patrick Surtain is. I want to hear that. I want to hear about the wins and losses. I want to hear about what happened. Oh, Russell Wilson's stats. I don't want to hear about that. His stats don't mean anything.
That's all they got. They're hanging on to all of Elway's. They're all the retreads. It's Sean Payton.
Maybe Sean Payton's trying to make Russell Wilson look good so he could trade him. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to.
That's actually a good point too. That's very.
Maybe they're trying to get maybe they're stat padding for Russell Wilson so that way they could put him on the trade block too. So
I don't know who would take that contract, but we'll see.
Yeah, if they could look good enough, if they could really sell the narrative of him looking better than Mahomes, then maybe stupid enough to take him. And I hope there is someone stupid enough to take that contract. That's our hope. Is if someone else.
If there is somebody that's stupid enough to take that contract, then shame on them.
Raiders.
The Raiders, I don't think so.
The Raiders probably.
I laugh when I hear them thinking Belichick.
Call up. I can't even think of it. Would be dumb enough to do it.
Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. Russell Wilson for you with your name all over it.
The content creators think Belichick would do it. There's no way that's just not in a million years.
No, Belichick's very specific on the quarterback he likes.
Yeah, well, he doesn't fit that system by any stretch.
No, he likes that stand around.
He's the opposite of that. I mean,
yeah, he likes that stand around quarterback, get rid of the ball in 2 seconds quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, Russell Wilson, yeah, I think they're stat padding. Hopefully they could get his stats looking good enough so some team who runs on analytics gets them off our hands. But that contract is awful. I mean,
nobody. That was the stupidest thing that the owners signed off. I mean, it just was the stupid. It really. This is the deal. You had Bridgewater. If you'd just been patient, you had all this draft capital. If you would have then signed Payton, if you wanted him for all this, you'd have to get rid of the front office. All those people would have to go. You'd have to, like you said, get Jeff Ireland. And then you could build the kind of player personnel and the kind of structure they had in New Orleans. Until Russell Wilson, just too bad you don't get your $250 million. You'll have to prove it. You'll have to prove you're worth it.
I don't think Russell takes a pay cut. That guy's all about himself.
Oh, I take that back. What am I saying? There would have been no Russell Wilson deal. But that would have never been possible because that Elway, Ellis, bad management was there.
Trigger right away before he took a snap.
Yeah, they desperately. I think what happened, and this addresses what we're talking about. I think that they couldn't get Rodgers. Panic ensued because they knew ownership was coming. To justify their presence in the Bronco organization, their jobs and everything else, they had to come up. Well, we did make the deal. We got the quarterback. We got Russell Wilson. We just need a coach. We just get a coach. Now they got the coach, and now they got a coach, but I don't think he's in maybe lockstep with that Elway bunch.
Not even close. I've always had the feeling that when he said that Elway is still there, that was intentional.
Oh, it was definitely intentional. Zach, what's his name? Whatever the fuck he is. 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Steven. Oh, I didn't expect that. Oh.
He had to go into full jam, and he's like, don't talk about my boss like that.
Here comes the video. Roll it out, smoking pot with the college or the high school team or whatever it was.
The day after on draft night. Yeah. So, yeah. Sean Payton. I've always had a feeling that with that moment right there, I was like, oh, they're fighting for sure because they have to be fighting if he's over here exposing him like that. Did you see George Payton's face when he said that?
Yeah, he had to turn around and he just smiled.
That was
George Paton said, "Yeah, I'll be working with John Elway on the draft."
Oh man, George Paton looks like a robot over there. He doesn't even look like a real person.
Yeah, his eyes. And then he just turned and he wanted to laugh, but
he's like George. Yeah, George Paton's not even a real GM. He's just John Elway's robot. He's like he has to ask John.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
I agree with everything. Yeah, I agree.
He's like, John Elway, can I get a glass of water? John Elway, can I use the restroom? John Elway, can I go to bed at 8:30 tonight? John Elway, can I wear color blue today? John Elway, can I tie my shoes double knotted?
Oh. Tap tap tap. No. Tap tap tap. No.
John Elway, can I go to the emergency room? I hurt myself very badly.
Just as long as you say I don't exist. And all right. Do you have anything else? Anybody got anything else?
No. Well, I think we'll see a lot more after this Kansas City loss. With every loss, the unraveling, the exposure of what's really happening gets stronger and stronger every day. And I think it got to a boiling point with that Hackett loss.
I had to laugh, and I don't know who was it. It may have been Zach By, but somebody said each loss is a different flavor of embarrassment.
Oh, man.
The different flavor of embarrassment. Like I said, I think you could bring in the Australian rugby team and they'd put an 80 burger on this team.
Colorado could put up to 80 on this.
Colorado State.
Yeah, Colorado State probably kick their ass.
Oh God.
I think you know, your local high school. I think the Denver high school team could probably kick their ass. So
Yeah, Columbine High School.
I guarantee you they have better inside linebackers than the Broncos do. That's for sure. So.
Oh, it's Josie Jewell. I love you.
I hated that Josie Jewell pick. I was
Did you
like,
see his tackle stats? Did you not see his tackle stats?
how many of those are beyond the
9 yards, 10 yards, 12, 13 yards. Oh, yeah.
Someone show me his pass coverage stats. Someone show me those. Those can't look. Yeah, there. And then the Broncos Avenue is still trying to cling on to Jerry Jeudy. Just cling on to him. They're like he's open.
2 first rounds.
No, they were getting, that guy from Predominantly Orange. It's on their podcast. He was getting so pissed. He's like, I don't know what they're doing with Jerry Jeudy. He's open every single play, and they just won't throw him the ball. They just
it could be true. That could be true.
I'm like, because he won't catch the ball. He doesn't fucking catch the ball. Did you not see week 1 when they were utilizing him in 2020 and he didn't catch the fucking ball? What good is getting open when you don't catch the fucking ball? They don't trust. I don't even know why he's out there on the field in the first place, because a receiver you can't trust to catch the ball doesn't belong out there. And also they try to use him on go balls when he's good on the intermediate.
Go ball.
Yeah, he needs to be on the in routes, the out routes, post routes. Those are what he's good for. The drag routes, those are the routes he's good for. He's not good on the go balls. He's not fast enough or big enough.
Not a go ball guy. Maybe
he's more,
what
more agile. He's more agility than he is speed and size. So
I have a theory, and that is, I wouldn't call this conspiratainment, but what it is that maybe, just maybe, they don't want him getting hurt so they can get rid of him.
I think so, because this year I think on those intermediate routes he's useful. I mean, kind of in the fourth quarter against the Jets, but he's not Justin Jefferson. He's not the best receiver. No. He's a slot guy, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. That's where you see him really coming through as receivers in that situation.
When they put him in the slot, that's when when he's running the underneath, when he's running the slants, when he's running the quick routes, that's where he plays his best. He's not a go ball receiver. He's not.
Maybe that's the guy Belichick would bring in. Maybe Belichick would go after Jerry Jeudy.
I think utilize him in the slot like a Eddie Royal role. I think that's where he'd be good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I think Bucketman's camera is just going crazy because we're using Microsoft and their lovely technology. So,
well, I gotta pee.
Bucket, go on.
We got Mr. Freeze has come back. I see.
Bill Gates, man, come on, we need your help.
Hey, but we did score 30 points once this season. We
did. The highlight is scoring 31 points.
We're 1-4. We're 1-16. But we did score 30 points.
The Rams in season. They won 41-0 against the Rams in preseason. Remember that? When they were hyping that up, they were like, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, "It's preseason." They're like, "Oh, but we're still happy. It's revenge for last." I was like, "Wait till that regular season comes, and you guys are gonna suck." And then you guys sucked.
God. How long ago is that Rams game in the rearview mirror right now?
Oh, they probably don't even remember it. I'm just excited because these first 5 games, man, I was pissed with the way the NFL stacked their easy games at the first half of the season. It's tough sledding from now on. You got Kansas City, Green Bay, Buffalo, Minnesota, Cleveland, Houston, Chargers, Detroit, New England. Like now you're getting into the meat and potatoes of your schedule, and you're sitting at 1-4. So if you thought it was bad at the beginning of the year, wait till you go to Arrowhead this week. Wait till you.
They're already racing for impact. I think the players know it.
Oh, they know.
I think the front office may know it too. By the way, that's fire Payton on up, fire Payton.
Oh, Sean Payton knew it. That's why he ripped into Russell Wilson for fumbling that ball, because he knew that if they were going to win a game, that was probably the last one for a while. So,
yep.
Sean Payton. I think, like you said, there's this going on, and it's coming out with every loss. And I think that Hackett loss put it to a boiling point. And I think another loss to Kansas City is going to basically expose all of it. People are going to be gone. So maybe
another flavor of embarrassment coming up on live on. How many people really are going to watch that?
Nobody's watching that game. The Chiefs are just going to toy with their food. The Chiefs are going to practice plays that might work against Buffalo and the AFC.
Yeah. They're going to run their B side of the playbook, their practice stuff, their stuff.
The Broncos are their annual lab game, the laboratory game for the Chiefs offense. They get to just, experiment with some things, clean up some things, get ready for the tough games like Buffalo. So I would say Cincinnati, but Cincinnati, I think Joe Burrow is hurt right now because they don't have an offensive line.
That doesn't mean anything. They're going up against the Broncos. If they have to play Cincinnati, then they'll have to. Yeah, they're going up against Cincinnati's going up against the Broncos defense. Just run the ball.
The Bears toying with the Broncos. Even the bad teams toy with the Broncos for a little while. So yeah,
well, they try to give them the game for God.
Yep, they did, and they did give them the game. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I can't wait for this Kansas City game. I really hope the Chiefs kick their ass, but
no, they'll keep it interesting and close, and then just we better score a couple touchdowns, get this over with.
Yeah,
yeah.
They'll score like 20 points, take the foot off the gas for the rest of the game. Experiment. That's what I expect. But
yeah.
It'd
be great to watch them go out and just kick their ass. I mean, it would be nice, but
maybe they will, because the Broncos can show that they can kind of score some points now. So maybe they'll a little more
on the safe side. Yeah, better get let's get up to 30 anyway.
Get to 30, call it a day.
30 points, we did it.
Yeah, I mean, good luck.
We lost the game, but we did get 30 points.
Yeah, Russell Wilson stats, but who's 1-4 right now, and who's 4-1 right now? So
yep.
Well, all right. I don't have anything to add. I think we'll see more about the Sean Payton versus the front office in the coming weeks. These next 3 weeks, October 29th is their last game before their bye, and the trade deadline's on the 31st. So these next 3 weeks are going to reveal a lot. I'm glad 2 of those games are Kansas City. So,
yep.
We made it out of the easy part. Now it's on to the real part of the schedule.
Good luck with that.
Yep. Good luck. 1-7 going into the bye week.
All right. I'm going to let you go.
All right.
Take care.